Ṣẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ bájò, ṣẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ bájò, olúwa mi ò dìde ojó
The Ashen Forge.
ṣẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀.
Ashen's the Ashen Forge.
Hello and welcome to the Ashen Forge. I am Phantom X, joined as always by Diggs and the legendary Neurotoxin. How y'all doing?
Level 11. How about you?
Ah,
Oh,
yeah,
I'm doing
19.
well.
level 19, starting to get
Mhm.
there. Diggs, what level are you?
Like 3?
Yeah, that's what I figured. We I just
I
realized
remember level 3. I fully geared myself at level 3. I got 2 Grim skins and picked a bunch of flax, and it's like, all right, time to put on some cloth, y'all.
those of you, we've been gaining, our channel's been gaining a lot of followers, so I've kind of talked about this on stream, the people that are new to with us now. And we've done this show, gosh, 7 years? Yeah, 7 years, over 7 years. It's over 7 years now. Been Fridays, largely Sundays now. Not every Sunday. We do take breaks, but this is sort of an hour and a half to catch up and kind of talk about everything that's been going on. But with all the testing, we paused last week. There's just Sundays aren't necessarily the ideal time right now because we could all be playing.
Well, the servers still up, or did they go down
Now there should still be up for another.
for another couple hours?
It's 10 p.m. Pacific. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, I mean you should still got 4 hours left. Did they
Well,
extend it?
eventually I should come in. The
Did they
last
extend
thing
it to
I
Monday?
did,
Did they? Oh, they did. I haven't checked Discord.
neat. Yeah, the last thing
I
I did in the game around 3 p.m. Pacific was loot some person. I was hanging around. It's like, okay, they aren't coming back for their body. Looks like they might have just been AFK. Kind of floating around a little bit, killing some mobs around. Finally, I decided, well, let me just see what they have. I looked at what they had. They had some things that I needed and things that were, okay to grab anyway. So I did my magic trick of grab it and then log off. And then by the time I log back on, I won't be flagged for PvP anymore.
that shouldn't be it. That shouldn't work.
Well, it does.
Well, I guess it's corrupted. Yeah, corruption. That's a workaround. Yeah, everyone, as
Yep.
everyone is pointing out, yes, Stephen put in the news, just about 30 minutes ago. They're going to 10 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow.
Oh,
So,
good. Okay. So maybe I have a little time to play. I'll try and play tonight.
which we talked about this a couple days over this yesterday and today on stream, that I think they're getting closer to maybe letting us. I know they say 5 days a week come December 20th, but I wouldn't be surprised if they start going 4 days and then eventually to 5 a little bit sooner. We only got 4 weekends left, so
Mhm.
They're being kind to us. They're being kind to us, giving us a little extra. I don't know if they're gathering more data out of what's going on right now, or if what it is basically we'll just let it run until we come in tomorrow and start working on the next update for PTR to test. Because that's the
Kinda-
one thing I would imagine they're going to take it down, and then PTR will probably spin up later in the day.
Yeah, it's kind of nice that we get PTR as well as I don't know that we knew that going in, like when we were waiting for um Alpha 2 to start and we found out it was just going to be on the weekends. I don't know that we were anticipating PTR during the
Absolutely
week.
not. That was not
Um,
something that I was expecting, and I've been
yeah.
enjoying it.
Yeah, so that's nice. It's not great for me because it ends at 6 p.m. usually. Well, anything that happens after 6 p.m. for me. So I'm working until 5:30 and then I leave, or 5 o'clock, and then I leave for dance class. So um, it's not ideal time for me to jump in, but it's great to give other people more time to play during the week. And also that if it's ending at 6 p.m., it gives the devs time to rest. And that's kind of one of my concerns. You know, there's some burnout stuff that happens and gives them some time in the morning to, because I think sometimes it doesn't even open up until noon or something like that. So it's different than just running it 7 days, 24/7, right? It gives the devs time to rest, but also gives them some time to work on some stuff um, without 24/7 trying to maintain people playing, support people playing. Um, so I think that's good. And then for me, it's just trying to find time to play. I get a lot of lag, so it's best for me if I'm playing between 1 and 5. But you know, I do so much dancing that 1 and 5, I'm starting to be asleep and don't have a lot of time to try and fight uh, lag or whatever's happening. And with my paltry laptop. Um, it's fine for other games, but we're doing stability testing, and it's not great for stability for Ashes at the moment. But um,
Well,
yeah, so I think if we have one more day, then I might have time to jump on this morning.
as has been mentioned, actually, this weekend was probably one of the best weekends that's been experienced so far. So you might log on and try. Um, they started off Friday, I think, with some. They reported some server client issues, but I've not had any drops, no crashes. I've had some stuttering still, kind of when you get to your server worker lines every once in a while, but it's really only going from high pop areas to a low pop or somewhere. It's largely around Carfin. I've spent a lot of time in Carfin, so
I think that's my thing. I was trying to get away from what's the first one? What's the first place that we log into? I forget now off the
Lionhold.
top of my head.
You
Yeah,
don't
I
even
was trying to
remember
get away
Lionhold.
from
Damn. You need
Um,
to play
no, it
more.
just dropped.
I wasn't
It's
sure if
just
you meant
dropped.
Linehold or the portal, but yeah.
No, it just dropped because I haven't played in days, many days, many days, many days. But yeah, the last time I was trying to get away from Lionhold, and that's when the lag really hit me. Um, so I think if I get away from Lionhold, it'll be better.
Yeah. I mean, since the last time you got a chance to play, stability has improved significantly. You shouldn't have any trouble getting away from Lionhold now.
Okay.
No walls of death, no none of that. That's
Okay.
that's one of the things actually I got a chance to catch up with the Golden Tavern folks. They were doing a little hangout earlier, and while they're not quite ready to start doing the live streaming yet, I'm sure they'll make announcements when they're ready to. It sounds like they're going to start at least doing kind of semi-regular hangouts of some sort. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, it was good seeing them starting to get in and getting up and running. It they were noticing a huge difference from like where things were at in Phoenix Initiative versus like where gameplay is at now, how it's just like night and day different.
Yeah, usually when I have like an hour or two free, I'll end up watching Phantom X on Theory Forge instead of trying to jump into the game. So,
Oh, you could jump in and have him give you hand-me-downs.
well,
Yeah,
that's assuming I can do anything once I get in, but we'll see.
I've been paying more attention to my language. It's as everyone's
Why?
been pointing it out. No, I haven't been I didn't say I've been toning it down.
Oh,
I've
okay,
just
just
been
paying it
noticing it
attention.
more.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's a good thing to do is being able to notice it. Doesn't mean you need to not say it or aren't
Well,
going
he
to say
notices
it.
fine because he doesn't do it when he's on the Ashen Forge. Um, but he doesn't worry about it when he's just streaming and having fun in the
Things
game.
aren't as like heated and excited as like fighting things and grinding mobs and stuff like that and then like getting killed and then it's like
I didn't
yeah,
notice it during Alpha 1.
what all the profanity.
Yeah.
I didn't play a ton of Alpha One.
Okay.
Fair
Did
enough.
some. I don't know that I stream much of it, but yeah, Royer was mentioning one of his friends. was said that they enjoyed watching me because I just sort of I just say whatever I say what most clerics are probably thinking but don't say.
Oh,
So
that's funny.
I guess it's humorous.
Oh,
Um,
that's true. Yeah, if you're a healer that's frustrated with the parties, I guess that is kind of just a like, well, this is what it really is like, everybody.
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I start off saying, don't take it personal if I call you an MFer. That's just what it is. I'm in
Hmm.
heat of it all, and I had to. I thought about. I put up. There'll be a video tomorrow. Steven spawned an event today,
Hmm.
and yeah, there were a bunch of 4-letter words in that. So the short, I
So
cut out some.
tell me about the mobs that spawned there, because there is that thread that I was telling you about just before we started that was complaining about an event where
Yeah,
I think 4 or 5 50 level uh, 3-star mobs were dropped in on a town, and they did not appreciate that. So what was it like for you?
yeah. So for people who don't know what he's referencing, I guess there's a forum post about somebody getting pissed that they died and lost stuff, right? Basically, because of an event spawned
Yeah,
by the team.
yeah.
Um, Well, we were in Carfin, which is not the easiest anyways, but we were grinding. I was playing with Q. I play with Q a lot. He tends to be in the morning, Stakino, and
Hmm.
around the same time as I am because I start at 5:30 in the morning. Um, and it's pretty standard stuff. And yeah, I went up, came back, I took a break real quick, came back, and number one, we lost like 2 party members. Number two, all of a sudden, this spider spawns. It's the brood mother. It's like this damn thing hadn't been here this whole time. Like, where did this come from? Did somebody pull it?
Mm,
And so,
mm,
I use StreamerBot, streamer.bot, which will tell you who's in chat or whatnot. Notice that it said, Stephen Sharif sitting in chat. And I also noticed he was watching yesterday. And
mm,
and then all of a sudden, like 2 scorpions spawned and we wipe and we're running back and everybody's like, that's a GM event. That, because
mm,
those were desert things. Like all of a sudden we had 3
mm,
different desert monsters spawned on us
mm,
that just kicked our ass. I think they were level 27. I was 18 at the time. Which you can,
mhm,
with a group of 8, if you have a good group of 8, you can take things to 8 levels higher than you. Um
mm.
reasonably well if you pull right. But um we were running back, yeah, and
It's too
everybody's like,
bad the
yeah.
loot and experience differential is going to be off because of the level
Yeah.
gap.
Yeah, they've changed a lot with power leveling kind of stuff.
Mm,
Reducing your EXP gain. It is quite a bit difference actually
mm,
from what it used to be. But
mhm,
anyway, so Steven, yeah, we got back there and actually another guild. I think it was Jamie's guild. Actually, they disbanded, which is something we can talk about with Guild Wars. But they had disbanded, but I'm pretty sure it was his members came back in a group and were fighting it. It was actually three what are the things with
Beetles?
one eyes? No, they're humanoid.
Oh, okay.
God, what is it called? Damn it, with one eyes.
Cyclops?
Yeah, something
That's
like that. Anyways, they were fighting 3 of those, and so we just joined in. And oh, I forgot I added in a bot account called the Forge Maester. So that's why. Anyways, sorry. I've done a lot with this over the weekend. I don't remember what all I've done. Anyways, yeah. So then the
Thank you for
uh
that bot.
if you look at it, it's funny because it'll be posted tomorrow, but they're fighting that. And I was kind of like, oh, Steven, damn it. I want the Broodmaster again, because we almost had it. We had it down and then they spawned the Scorpions and that was it. And it's like, I want another shot. And all of a sudden it spawns. And it's like,
Mhm.
oh, okay. And then everybody starts fighting it. And I made the mistake. I was like, um, Steven, you coward, fight me. I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't have called you a coward. And then all of a sudden, yeah,
Mhm,
right behind me, a scarab spawns, and it's him controlling it.
mhm, mhm,
So he was just getting up in my face. He wasn't like actually hitting me. Uh, he did end up
mm,
killing me though.
mm,
He also resurrected me and healed me up and gave me a
mm,
bunch of experience. So now I'm level 19.
mm.
Neat.
Yeah, nice.
It's fun that they do that shit, especially when it's such a busy time for them. This would have been at what time even would that have been his time? 7:30, 8 a.m.
Hmm.
probably around his time. Um, and the
They
fact
just
that
like
they're
waking up, turning on a stream. Oh, what's going on? Oh, hey, hey, let's look
Mhm.
around a little.
Yeah, and Planendorf joins a lot too. He wasn't on this morning, but he was on Saturday morning.
Mm.
It's just fun watching all of them get in and kind of chat with us and ask how things are going. But yeah, then Steven, floated on away. So I asked him I kept saying take me to Carfin, but apparently I'm not important enough to get to Carfin. So
So I wonder, because I would kind of think that they would do something like that, like fix your XP debt, or if you stay long enough, uh, give you something. I don't know. Um, because the guy in the forums is saying that they got a full bar. They ended up with a full bar of XP debt, and lost a lot of legendary materials. Um, Which
they
is
u-
kind of a bummer, but on the other hand, it's a test. So, I mean, I wouldn't be super attached to stuff. But
yeah, they usually reward you. That they did the same. Actually, I think he pulled a bunch of people into God, I don't even remember where it was, Carfin or somewhere. Um, and killed him a lot, wiped him, but then he kind of granted everything back afterwards. I think they've given people like 3 gold. I wasn't locked
hmm
in. Something like the whole server or something got 3 gold. So they're
hmm
just having fun, obviously with the wipe coming. Um,
but the wipe is coming in a month.
yeah, but I mean
Yeah,
it's still four.
but that
It's
doesn't mean they can't start having some fun
yeah.
with things now. I
No,
mean,
no, I
it's
just meant in terms of people are having XP debt. A month away is not going to help with that. But you should probably stick around instead of logging off. So I would expect, like, at the end of it, that they'll reward you. So if you log off out of frustration, probably you're going to be stuck with whatever happened. But if you stick around, I would expect, you know, they might alleviate some of those issues for you. So
yeah.
But yeah,
But
they're having
again,
fun with it.
yeah, exactly. They're definitely having fun, just messing around. It's the sort of thing that they can do at this time, because they can, because it's a test and they're gathering their data, and that's good. I suppose it's not a bad idea to be able to see how well they can spawn events in the world and do things in real time. What that kind of indicates for me, and this is a very, very good thing, is the idea that some of the staff post launch will transition roles from helping to write the lore and events to then potentially going in the game world and facilitating some of these special events, that some of the lore team is actually doing, part of the GMs for events in different places across the server, in various different ways. I mean, there are going to be people creating content as well, for sure. But I mean, I could see a lot of people, if the team builds up really big and they don't want to get rid of anybody because that's not the kind of company they are, that a lot of people start transitioning to do some amount of, in-game live service sort of stuff to add more sort of fun and intrigue to it.
yeah, it Phantom mentioned monster coins. I think he mentioned that in the chat where he was talking about the beetle stuff. It makes sense. Seems like they're the monster coin stuff is still on the table, where players can inhabit monsters. But definitely also that means that I usually think of GMs having their own avatars when they come in. But it's nice to kind of think about them inhabiting bosses and making those events, making boss fights even just not as static as we expect them to be. They're supposed to be dynamic anyway, but if every once in a while a dev will jump into a boss and make it a little bit more interesting than just same old AI expectations. That could be fun too, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they clearly have the yeah. I mean, as quickly as he spawned that and was able to control it and then use whatever skills it had, yeah,
Yeah.
that tech's pretty far. It seems like it's pretty well along.
Hmm.
He's done it with other people too, but
Yeah.
um, literally, like as soon as within 5 10 seconds of saying, you're a coward, it spawned and on top of me. So
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
Yeah. No, I'm sure he was sitting around at his desk with some coffee, in editor, in engine, in the game with all the dev tools exposed, being able to do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
Not everything, but I'm sure the team has made a robust set of things that a dev can do in the game world for testing and otherwise. I mean, a lot of these are probably just test tools that, like, if I'm doing QA stuff and I'm on a private server and I just want to spawn a creature to see if they're interacting and working correctly, I can just do that. And once we know that that tool works and it spawns things correctly and can be used for accurate testing, there's no reason why you can't just use that same tool on live servers. So I think a lot of what we're even seeing right now is just QA and internal testing tools that you can just use in game if you want to.
And
As a dev.
you did mention in chat Neuro something about the artisan system in phase two, which is reminding me of the other thread that I saw that has me thinking about testing in phase one. Somebody was saying that profession progression is far too slow for alpha test periods. And again, profession progress is not the focus of phase one. Phase one is just stability, so I wouldn't be
Mhm.
surprised that profession progression is not all that great right now. They said they hit level 25 in one weekend, but testing crafting, you need to spend an insane amount of time and effort for it to be wiping in December. But I mean, that's when we're getting closer to profession progression testing.
I
You
think
know,
someone said like 12 or 1300 hours back to back is the amount of crafting time required to get to journeyman. So that's more than that's like more than the entire phase one, I believe.
hmm
Start to end, not
hmm
including any technical issues. So ain't no way anybody's getting that.
yeah.
Not right now. And I don't know if they have the tools implemented to be able to bump people to certain artisanship levels and grant them the tools and stuff. But if it's something that they want to test, they'll make those tools and they'll have us tested on PTR and they'll
Yes.
throw the XPS. I know they can't give a weapon XP right now, or at least if they can, it's so cumbersome that they just don't.
Hmm.
Which is fine. That's one of the funny things on PTR. They'll level you to like level 21 or 25 to do like a some sort of war test event, but all of your weapon skills are at level 1 and you can't level them off of low level things because you just got your level bumped up. So it's like, great, I've got all these badass weapons and I ain't got no skill with them.
Hmm.
Fun. Now you kind of see that, oh yeah, the skills for your weapons are actually pretty important.
Mhm.
Hmm. Hmm.
They
That's true,
really
actually.
are.
Yeah,
They're meaningful. They really are.
understanding your finishers, your deadly finishers, kind of
Hmm.
how that all works, how you get everything to proc is yeah. There's a lot of people that seem to have a hard time kind of grasping that, because they
Hmm.
they do matter just as much as your skills do. Honestly, the
Mm.
thing that probably matters the least is your character level. Um,
That's like your attributes and your max HP and what you're allowed to equip and do. Like once you're level
yeah,
10, Like you're not terribly different, I suppose, than a level 19, except in like how hard you're going to be getting whacked relative to your max HP if you try to
Hmm.
take on things that are too dangerous.
Hmm.
As soon as you hit level 10, if somebody hands you a weapon that does 300 plus damage, you're whooping that ass
Hmm.
like a level 19 is.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and this was I noticed too when they with some of the PTR, getting leveled up to like 21, but not having anything but starter gear and running through the world. Like, number one thing, still aggro you, guys. Please fix that. It's annoying as shit. But two, at
Yes, they do.
21, like everything. Although we've got a
Yes.
kind of a new theory on that somehow it's related to mount level. That
Mm.
something has changed, and that's why level 3, level 4 stuff are still aggroing me when I'm level
Hmm.
19. It's because my mount is level 1, and
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
they beeline straight for the mount too. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, but oh shit, what was this? Oh yeah, so running through the world at level 21, like I would have level 8, 9, 10 stuff that could kill me. Like, now I'd have to kind of mess up for them to kill me. But if like 5 or 6 of them joined together, they would absolutely kill me. So
Hmm.
level doesn't matter, I don't think, so much as your gear and your weapons and how you spread out points and how you understand your weapon trees. The stamina tree is kind of pointless right now. I don't even know why it's in. I don't think that has any use. But
You don't like the stamina skills?
I don't find them personally useful for me as a cleric sitting back healing people. But
Oh man, the running one is so fantastic. If you're sprinting around a lot, it is super nice. I imagine for tanking the blocking stuff, if you're using the shield a lot, the blocking stuff is great. The dodge stuff I'm a little iffy on because the stuff where you get the evasion when you dodge, that's great. Just dodge, you get bonus evasion. Freaking sweet. But the ones where you get the extra
Huh.
stamina back if you do a dodge on a successful attack. That one's kind of bogus to me because not only is the timing, the latency a little wacky, and so making that sort of timing happen is silly. But if I have dodged in such a way that I'm out of range before the attack gets off and there's no way it can hit me, in my eyes, I have successfully dodged that attack. But in the technical terms of things, because it wasn't a thing that was right about to hit me that I just right at the last moment got away from, it's not counted. And so I lose the full 50 stamina. So I think that's probably the one that needs to be adjusted. It just needs to be a flat dodge while in combat, and it's reduced by a certain amount. If you're not in combat, sure, run the whole 50. Or maybe when you're out of combat, run it even less because it's not a dangerous situation. That would make a little more sense even if you're not in combat and you dodge, you're just, showing off. You're not moving any faster.
Hmm.
yeah. I'm not out PvPing a ton, which I think also the stamina provides a lot more benefit too. But definitely
The
the weapon trees
the
need to be understood better.
the one other one I like is the that slide ability that the bard gets and then it gets 2 charges. That one's great because it's
Yeah.
basically like a free dodge. I can use that to kite things really, really well.
What's not
Well, so wait. Well, I mean, we can jump into it, but I want to ask Nero at some point about the Bard nerfs and how he's relating to them. But do you go ahead first, Phantom?
No, I'll be quick about. There was no Bard nerf. Some things were changed. Bard was not nerfed at all. Bard's still just as badass. Some things were just changed. There is no Bard nerf. People calling a Bard nerf don't know what the hell the game is yet.
I think Staccato. I thought Staccato was one of the ones who said,
Yeah,
I
he's
will
still
have to
playing it
talk
though.
with I will have to talk with him because I haven't gone out and looked for it, but I don't believe the Bard has been nerfed, at least at the levels that I'm playing. Maybe at the higher levels they did, but that's outside of my scope right now.
Yeah, Q's still playing it. He was playing Bard this morning when we were at Carfin. No, I was just gonna say one thing that's not really clear yet that I need to better understand with the weapon skill trees, because of course you have skill trees for each weapon that you're holding. When you read the tooltips, like the sword will say the option of skilling into increasing damage from finishers and deadly or extended deadly finishers or whatever. It doesn't necessarily say it's specific to that weapon. So it's like, does that also then apply to the bow that I'm wearing as well? Or is it really only applying to if I'm using the sword? My guess would be sword
I
only, but it doesn't say that.
maybe someone in chat can clarify that for us because I have noticed when I've got chill on a book and then I switch to a bow and I get the ability to do once I've gotten the first level and the first thing selected with the bow, suddenly I'm doing the bow's proc and the book's chill. So
Hmm.
when things are getting chill snared, well golly, they're so much easier to kite. It's insane.
Hmm,
Yeah,
Uh
as Knife Party saying, that's probably a bug.
yeah.
hmm.
So I don't think they're supposed to work with every weapon. That is something I would say I loved with DCUO and I think would be a great system to have in here. You'd have to probably reduce some of the amounts or have some sort of diminishing returns on it. But the idea with DCUO is that part of how you got your character's total attributes is that you leveled through every weapon, and then where you set the tier and trees and everything for a weapon that you weren't using, you just made sure all the attributes that it could provide were all filled in. So you would get as many attributes as you could from weapons you weren't actually using at the time. And also, when you wanted to switch weapons, it was that much easier because you spent the time to level them up, and now you got some super badass weapon that's like 50 gear score higher than what you were using. It's like, okay, I guess I kind of have to switch.
Hmm.
I
So
want to
it was kind of nice in that.
go back to what you were mentioning with leveling time, and yeah, I know it's not. What's up, Tony? I haven't seen you for a few days. I get it that it's serviceability testing. It's for Alpha 2. I have to say it's feels slow. So I think it would feel good for a release game, especially with 50 levels. But right now, knowing there's going to be a wipe at phase 2, there's probably going to be a wipe at phase 3. There might be some wipes in between. The idea of trying to get up to 25 like more than 3 times is a little mind numbing. So, um and I can see
So
that with
don't.
crafting.
Don't
Crafting's
do it
even
then.
worse. Yeah, crafting's even
Drafting, you good luck. Like
well,
like
right
I said,
now.
there's no way you could max a journeyman or get to
Yeah, I
journeyman.
mean, right now the big issue is just your nodes. Yeah, your nodes are not producing the buildings fast enough. I'm still waiting on a damn cookhouse. I got to 10 hunting last weekend, but I can't go try to tame any of the other apprentice stuff until I get the apprentice bow. Can't get the apprentice bow. Uh,
What does the cookhouse do?
I don't, for some reason they have the bow with the cook place. I don't know why. And that's your
That's
it's the same.
odd because their carpentry
Yeah, no, it's the
is
same
normally
actually over in when you're actually to raise up to the next level of certification, you have to go to the cooking station or the cooking area over in outside of Lionhold, sort of the starting area to do that. So I don't know. I don't know why it's there. It does need another building. I agree. Trust Rex. It's kind of weird, but um, Steven tried to take out one of our nodes cookhouses today.
Yeah, I'm
Wait, what
saying
server you
something
on?
about a cook.
What server you on, Tony? But like New Ayla is where the cookhouse is being built for Vira, and I mean I'm gonna get through another. I don't know that it is yet. I'd have to log back in. They still needed
No,
a shit ton of
I
bows.
believe they finished it.
Um,
She only's on Linef.
but yeah, I mean the way it's all set up, having to have all these nodes and have them build the right buildings for you to even get your next, your items to even craft better. It just takes time. Takes a lot of time. I don't know. It does kind of feel slow for alpha testing, but you do have
I
some
mean,
people.
again, it's a stability test, so that's not going to be.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect that to be representative of what it's intended to be.
You also, I think, had some folks that kind of exploited their way on through and have been 25 for quite a bit. And hey, Trust Rex, I appreciate you. Thank you for the prime. Which we can get to actually. As we want to talk about drama on Vira at least, but
Well, I did want to jump back to Neuro. I think you mentioned this on stream, but maybe it was before we went live. You were talking
Mhm.
about looting. Um, and there was a change because I remember but between the last time we were on, they made it so, and this was because of feedback from testers. They made it so that if you loot somebody's ashes, like just stray ashes, I guess, somebody else killed them or they died some other way than combat with you. If
they
you
flag.
come across ashes and you loot them, now you get flagged,
Yes, sir.
or do you become
Any
corrupted?
For 1 minute.
any ashes that aren't yours that you pick up will flag you for, I guess, 1 minute is the mandatory minimum flag time, whereby you can not only be attacked, but due to a current bug, guards will destroy you in
Mm,
town. And
mm.
now,
I don't think
why I
it's a
want to,
bug.
what? No, no.
The
Oh, no,
the
that's a
purple.
bug because if you're flagged for PvP, you're okay to
No,
be in town.
no. It
It's
says
only when you're corrupted that
no,
you're
no,
considered an enemy.
no. That was in the past. Yeah, DOP Crusade, not a bug. That was in the notes. I'm pretty sure they changed that on purpose. I don't know why.
Well,
No,
he's
if
saying
you're
guards will
no,
kill you
yeah,
if you're red.
if you're
Neuro's
red,
saying
you
guards will kill you if you're purple.
yeah, if you go purple now, the guards will attack you. That
Mm-hmm.
is the bug. So if
Uh,
what's what's going on that's been funny is guild wars are not expiring, and one guild has been taken to attacking a different guild in town, just a high level person, one shot snipe ganking their crafters. And anybody other than that person who tries to get their diminished rewards off the ground will then die because they flag and the guards will swarm and kill them, which is hilarious. So people keep getting ganked and they lose a bit of material, but they can at least get their stuff back. They might get ganked again. Um, yeah, wait till the stolen glint can't be vendored so easily. That's not a problem because every single town has that loud ass lady in the outhouse only entrance building shouting, "Hey, hey, do some shady
yeah,
business here,
it's
everybody."
not a bug. So here's the patch notes for this weekend. Highlight number 1, 2, 3. Highlight number 4. Guards will now attack characters flagged for PvP. This includes both combatant purple and corrupted red characters.
Mhm.
So,
So that does not seem to be the intended design though.
well,
Yeah,
I
I
think
think it's for the testing. I think it's for
For the
testing. I think
testing.
it's not
Okay.
intended to be that
it's for the
for,
bald one.
you know, release. Yeah.
It's for the
Oh,
bald Asmongold one.
oh yeah, that was something. So, hey everybody, there's a big time streamer, Pirate Software, Thor, who had a certain Steven on, and yeah, they were talking about the bald one incident where um the bald one came on to play and he was getting serially ganked at level 1 to the point where he couldn't play, and Steven started kind of getting in there telling people, leave the bald one alone. And the way that he described it was so sincere and so like naive that surely these people who spent good money to join the alpha will listen to reason and be reasonable and not gank this person instead of having us need to bring the banhammer. That um and they started talking about the idea of what's griefing and what's actual like proper gameplay. and that what was going on there, where somebody's being killed into the dirt so much that they can't even start to play the game, is the sort of thing that's a bannable offense. And that was brought up that in EVE Online, that's also the case. If you're ganking noobs, you're going to get banned. It's often a common practice that if you kill somebody and it's their first ship, that you'll throw some cash their way so they can buy a new ship and get going with the game, because they want to foster players and keep them going. And he said, for anybody, doesn't matter if you're Asmongold or if you're Joe Schmo, if you're not able to play the game because you're getting mass ganked for whatever reason, the people that are doing it are violating the the sort of rules of the game. You are now being like, grief to the point where you can't play. That's not what the game is supposed to be. That's not the intent of the PvP system. Now they've got, I believe, since that occurred, a flagging system in where if you're under level 5, you're just automatically excluded from PvP. I believe they've built that in since then. I'm not 100%
Is that
sure.
Eve? Eve?
No, in Ashes that they've
Okay.
built that in. Eve doesn't really have a leveling system in that way, or at least not when I was playing it.
Oh
Um,
God's Oh God Zombies is saying not even griefing but stream sniping. And I think maybe Asmund would have been more okay with it if he was past newbie stage. But it sounds like he couldn't even
yeah,
get out of line hold.
Steven couldn't even grab Asmongold's character because all of the logging and all of the stuff on the server side was just going. It was churning so hard and fast he couldn't even pick the character out of the lot to go do actionable things with him. So
Hmm, hmm.
yeah,
So
and
yeah,
so
but
like
I think he knew though. So there's this bug. I'm pretty sure it's a bug, because somebody mentioned it to me, and I verified it. Uh, Assuming this happened to him, your alts do not see quest icons on on the mini map. They don't show up.
Hmm.
Um, and I think it's a known bug. And so if you watch him log in, this is just a theory, but you watch him log in, he has no quest icons on any of his mini maps. For one. Two, he like knew exactly who to run to get the beginner quest, which isn't necessarily entirely intuitive if you're just sort of running around and you don't have the quest icon. So again, I think he probably had played before and knew this was going to happen. Um, I
Well,
mean, he just
noob is
ran back and
yeah,
forth like
noob is about a character, not about the player. Newbie refers to your character, not necessarily the player.
well, I'm just
So
saying
it's still saying
he's been playing the game and he knew this was going to happen. So I don't know if
it's
there was a
still if
motive.
you look. Well, it doesn't matter. Any character that you log in that people are griefing the character, that's an issue. It's not just about griefing the player,
Yeah,
it's
but that
about
happens
griefing the
everywhere.
character.
This was a special occasion. There's been a lot of people that get killed in the newbie areas. I got
you
killed
get
by
killed, you'll get killed once or twice, but not like full on camped and ganked to the point where you can't even get like away from the start area. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's a bit of a different thing to just get killed once or twice. Ha ha. Okay, look at you. You're the big
yeah.
dog.
I don't know.
Good job.
I
It's
don't think
off
it's
now.
going to change. I don't think these things are going to change much for one. I don't think Asmon's the target audience for this game, and or a lot of the people that watch him. So um,
Yeah, but that's irrelevant to the issue. Whether or not he's going to play is irrelevant to people continuously griefing that character
well, it all plays
at
together with
let
corruption and the
level 1.
systems they put in. All you're doing is putting it off. Okay, you can't kill someone up to level 5. What happens at level 6?
Well, at least they've had some time to get into the game
Yeah,
with
but
that character.
25 versus
Yeah.
level 6. Eh.
Hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
Got it.
It's corruption is
You're
in a
saying it,
really
but
weird
you
spot.
said it, but it makes no difference. That's just a random statement that makes sense to you. But
No, it does make it, for specific to Asmon and the people like Asmon. It makes no difference if they get levels 1 through 5 free of PvP because PvP will start at level 6. I think it is irrelevant because I don't think I don't think he's the target audience. The same with PvP corridors. So I mean, you're just going to have that possibility no matter what. And corruption itself, I mean, they've made all of these changes. This weekend had the most in, right, as far as the level 5 stuff, your corpse looting, killing mounts gets you corrupted. All this stuff, corruption being tuned up to where it was, but you still had on Vira, you still had elite Zenkai running around all weekend corrupted, like all weekend. They're just red corrupted players. Like it's not stopping them one bit. um, I got killed multiple times by them. They particularly don't like Genesis, so I got killed once by myself too when I was with the guild group and we were just grinding. Um, which is interesting to me because everybody keeps saying, well, corruption's overtuned right now. It's purposely overtuned. It's overtuned. That's why it's so overkill. Because I think we've had this discussion. My thought is, well, if corruption is so overtuned that people never go corrupt, like why even have the ability to do open world PvP? Like you're preventing the conflict that you're wanting to happen because you're making it so people won't go corrupted. But even if people think it's overtuned, like clearly Zenkai had no problems this weekend running around red. They have made a lot of enemies too. There's a lot of guilds that want to kill them. Jamie's guild, Genesis, several, and
Well,
nobody could
that would be
actually.
yeah, that would be the intent for being corrupt most of the time, is because you want that. Come at me.
I mean, well, corrupt you should die pretty easily, pretty quickly, but that was not happening
Well,
with them.
it's not, yeah, yeah. So
And I'm pretty sure I was told Jamie's guild got like wiped clean by them. So I don't know. There's a lot of fine tuning that needs to happen. That's a big part. So because whatever's in there now is, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird how it all works.
well, again, it's a stability test, so it's not really a corruption balancing test. So
Because we also have a lot of corruption baiting now. So I say this on
how do
stream
you
all the
do that?
time. You don't flag. So and this is also where I think
No,
Zenkai.
how do you do the bait part? I understand you don't flag, but how are you baiting
You
people
just
to?
you just try to get um go into a grind spot and just trying to take mobs and trying to bait people into fighting you for it, because that was one of the things that was happening, right? Is that groups would fight each other over a grinding spot. But what happened 2 weekends, not this weekend, but last weekend, I was with the Genesis group. They wanted an area, so there were 3 people from Chaos in the area, and they wanted to fight them off. So their goal was to PvP them off the area, but those 3 people never flagged. And we had 2 groups of 8, so 16 versus 3 people, and like 3 of our guys went corrupted. They immediately respawned and killed the corrupted guy, no problem whatsoever. He was like one of the main tanks. Loot his sword, and that cycle kept happening. And like one of our guys was level 3 corruption, and at level 3 you drop 3 to 5 items when you die, and you become very easy to die. But this is where things are just really weird, because clearly Zenkai was having no problems. So I think they're just like max level geared out the asshole, basically. Um, but there is a lot of, I think you talked to a lot of people. There's been a lot of corruption baiting. Now this weekend, I will
But
say this.
that was not corruption baiting because they were there first. You guys chose to attack
No, it
them,
works
is
both
what I'm
ways.
hearing.
Yeah, it works both ways. But it's
Wait,
just
no,
try
wait. I'm
it's
trying to
trying to
understand.
it's trying
In
to get
this
some.
situation,
It's what
in
it
this
sounds.
situation though, they were there. They were not corruption baiting. They were there first, and you tried to
No,
get
they
them
were.
to move, and they didn't flag.
The spirit of Ashes of Creation is that you should flag up in PvP for the spot, and they knew that they were better off if they didn't, and they won.
That's
3 of them beat
yeah,
16 of
that's
ours,
not corruption baiting.
but 3 of them
No,
beating
that's
16 of us.
I
They
w-
legitimate had the spot, and then you chose to try to
No,
move
there
them.
was it was a contested spot. Nobody actually had it right away. But,
if it's not a lawless zone though, that's the risk you take if you're going to attack other people.
Yeah.
yeah, Hustle.
Um
That's what happened. Yeah, it said just go corrupt. And actually,
yeah.
we got a message put through pretty quickly on Genesis Good, at least from Rive, saying don't go corrupt. Just don't do it, because you will die and you'll lose your shit. So, but this weekend's been different.
I mean, if
There's
you really
actually
want to stick it to them, out damage the things they try to pull, so you get the stuff and they don't.
yeah,
That'll show.
that's a much better process. But we spent shit 2 hours like dealing with this, and I was finally like, I gotta bail. This is just not fun for me.
I ain't got the time for that. That sounds terrible.
Because it was it was like the group we weren't learning. It was like we kept going back. Oh, there they are. Go kill them. I was like, well, you're just doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Um,
That reminds me of playing like Planet Side 1, and instead of coming back as a group where everybody's implants are charged up, you just respawn, rearm, and just run back out and get killed solo. Just a line of people coming in getting killed solo instead of moving together as a group. That's kind of what it felt like, or it sounds like from the way you're describing things. Like no organization, no preparation, just continuing to throw your heads at a bad situation.
but it didn't help that there's been a bug. I don't know if it's fixed now. If there's a bug where you could respawn right on spot, and so they would die. Guy would go corrupted. They would pop right back up. Couple of shots, and the corrupted guy's dead. Loot him and run, and that went on a couple of times. So, but then actually Jamie's guild brought in a group of people to come fight us, and at that point we learned our lesson, and nobody flagged up. So, um, they ended up killing me actually, and I think 2 of them went corrupt, which died after that. So I don't know. This weekend's been different though. This weekend's had a lot more guild wars, a lot of fighting, a lot of people going head to head. I think Zenkai on Vira, at least Zenkai and Amnesty have been kind of paired up. Um, yeah, with called a Chaos, fighting them, fighting Genesis, fighting Warriors Guild. So there's definitely been a lot more PvP happening around the world.
I think it's technically not Guild Wars though, right? It's not objective-based Guild Wars. It's just guilds PvPing.
Well, I mean, what do you
Uh,
expect?
Well,
yeah,
Guild
it's
Wars
not like
are
the
objective-based.
Node Wars where there's the location that you go to and you have the things you're fighting over and the resources you're trying to gather and then trying to get to the God Spike and all that sort of. It, that's not a Guild War. That's a Node War.
No, but I'm saying Guild Wars is a specific thing in Ashes, and I
Yeah.
think this is I think that's not active. This is just guilds PvPing. There's been a
Oh
lot of
no,
guild
no.
PvP.
Guild War is active in a way that is so bad. It's active in it that it's broken. It doesn't go away. So once a Guild War is declared, it never expires.
Because
And
they
that
don't
was
have the
actually
objectives for that.
no. There's just no expiration that's working currently.
Yeah,
I
it's
believe it's
bugged.
supposed to be 3 in-game days or something, and then it goes away. But
Mm.
that was causing trouble because those elite Zenkai guys were just coming into town and they would snipe somebody and the person would die and guards wouldn't do anything about it because a guild war means it was sanctioned PvP. And so even if you're not flagged, if you're in a guild war, you can openly fight that person whenever, wherever.
Mm.
Doesn't matter the circumstances, and guards won't interfere because this is a sanctioned battle. You personally might not like it. In fact, it was getting to the point where Genesis is like, yo, if you're doing crafter stuff and you're worried about getting ganked, then just drop guild. It's not like we don't know who you are. We have the Discord.
And so were you saying something about that Phantom earlier? People dropping out of guild?
Yeah, so one of the ways to get around this whole constant at war thing, some people have actually just started dropping their guild um, completely, and that ends it. Because otherwise, yeah, you're kind of red to each other or whatever, you're flagged to each other, and I think people were having headaches, especially again with Zenkai and Amnesty on Vira, to the point where it's like, all right, we're just going to disband the guild and not deal with this right now. So yeah, there you go. Chaos people drop guild to avoid the bug war. Yeah. Um, is there a
No, there's
cooldown?
no cooldown. No. Nodes, there's now a 36-hour, but guilds, they never had one and never declared one. And I don't think they will because, as it's been said many times by Steven, they like subterfuge, they like spy stuff, they like people doing sneakery, so the ability to pop out and pop into a different one immediately, I think he's pretty well fine with.
Mm.
It's like, haha! And they pull their cape back. It was me all along.
Yeah, more Evelets. Well, I'm curious how quickly you can get in and out of guild alliances too once those are up and running. But
That's a good question.
um,
I wonder how
oh
much formality and stuff is required for them. You got to get like all the leaders together and have them sign charters with especially crafted ink and all that stuff.
yeah, guilds don't. I mean, it doesn't really feel like much anything, or anyways at this point. Like, there's no guild panel to look at, see who's on, all of that stuff, see who's online. I'm still waiting on the damn friends list. Like, give me just a
Yeah,
friends list. They
that
talked
would
about
be
that for a
nice.
couple of weekends now. It's like just a friends list would be great
Oh,
to
we'll
add
see it on
people.
P2 before we see it live.
We have one in Alpha 1? Why does it feel like we had one in Alpha 1? Huh.
I don't
I
know.
don't actually recall, I'll be honest.
Mhm. Okay.
There was
You might
something
be
else they
right.
mentioned they were going to try to add, and I don't remember what it was, but yeah, I need that friends list. I need some way to actually see who's online, communicate with them. Oh, the other thing we need is a reply, but like a quick button to reply to a whisper.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
that drives me nuts having to type it all out.
Now,
So
I have not noticed you and Nero playing together. Have the two of you played together?
He's usually hopping off by the time I'm waking
yeah,
up.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm literally
That makes sense.
5:30 a.m. So that's what 3:30 your time.
5:30 to
Um,
what?
uh depends, 10:30 to 12, somewhere in there. So
Yeah, that's like literally when I'm just starting to get up and eat breakfast and stuff.
yeah,
Mhm,
and then
mhm, mhm.
spending the rest of the day with my wonderful, wonderful family. So I'm not really logging
Mhm,
on at
mhm.
all.
Yeah.
I might pop on for like 30. I might even after this when we finish here in the next few minutes. Just do some soloing, but I'm not usually
Mhm.
trying to look for groups because it takes a while. That's the old school part of this that everybody wanted, right? Actually finding a group, having to run to wherever the freaking heck your group is at takes
Mhm,
forever.
mhm.
And
Part of
then
the game.
yeah, and then you finally get there and like 30 minutes of your hour gameplay session is done. And then you feel like an ass because it's like, well, I got 30 minutes, guys, and I got a log. Start finding another healer.
Yeah.
And it's
That
like
is that
it's
is my issue with grouping when you don't have any form of fast travel. And the other issue for me is, and it would be a frustrating for me, is when these events pop up and you know that the devs are online somewhere on your server and you have to run over to the event and by the time you get there it's like there's 10 minutes left or 5 minutes left or you miss it. Um that's the frustrating part for me. But
yeah. I mean, I will say when I have 5, 6 hours to play, not so bad, But when I'm popping on at night and I got an hour or less, it's like, and so
yeah,
part of me does kind of wonder what they expect the casual player to be like. How many hours do they think a casual player will
there's
spend
not
each
going
day?
to be casual there's not going to
Well,
be
you
casual
you
time
you
players.
can you can solo. So soloing is perfectly viable. I actually have a nice little spot that I've been showing people north of Carfin. At level 18, there are 17, 18, 19 one-star mobs that give about 1,000 to 1,500 experience a kill. Don't take long to kill. It's actually a nice little grind spot. So you can solo, but at the same
Yeah, but
time,
I'm
to
talking
get
about
to
Gosh,
again, I'm talking
I,
about time. You're talking about challenge, it sounds like. I'm talking about casual time.
that's a little ridiculous to me because at level 9, killing a level 10 Minotaur was giving me 1,000. So if you're still talking about getting like 1,000 to 1,500 when your experience is, orders of magnitude higher than what I've got to do right now, that's a little wacky. That's I mean, people are going to grind. I'm not going to tell people not to grind. They're going to find how they're going to do it. They're going to max out their whatever. That ain't the way I'm playing the game. And so it's to me unfathomable to spend one's time in that way knowing that the 20th, knowing that December 20th is coming, and to still be like, nope, no lifing. I got to know everything about it. I got to be top number one and be at the top of the game the entire time, because when that game comes live, I got to be at the top as fast as I can, because I want to be able to get world first and get all looted up before the servers mature, and like 3-5 years down the road, everybody's contesting for the stuff. It's like, all right, y'all play the game. How are you going to play the game? I'm going to be crafting bows by the beach.
Yeah, even
Doing quest stuff.
That's the other part. Yeah. Well, maybe not crafting. Well, no, maybe crafting, but like processing. Again, the idea of an hour of gameplay. Like if you're trying to process 30 things, it takes 30 minutes.
Well, the nice thing with that is you just set it in the queue and walk away and do other things.
Well, yeah, but if you're needing it for something, like that's your.
Well, then you're
minutes.
planning for next session.
Um,
Yeah, those queues and how long it takes to do things, and the fact that you can't like throw
Oh, you
more
have to
fuel
plan.
to run faster. Yeah, it's and the fact that you have limited intervals, 1, 5, 10, what is it, 25, 50, 100, something like that. That's ridiculous. Like if I have 4, I have to sit there and do all 4. If I have 24, guess what? I'm doing 4 5s and 4 1s. Like that sucks. That absolutely sucks. It's not just the fact that I have to go back into the station again and set it up again, even if I can like queue up an extra operation on it. That's just dumb that there's no way to be able to scale it within a range. It would make more sense to me if at the higher levels you increase the interval you can set it to. So at low levels it'd be like 1 to 10 or maybe 1 to 15, and then as you advance it becomes 1 to 30, and then as you advance it becomes 1 to an hour, and it goes on from there, something like that, where at the highest tiers that's where you can do the biggest volume jobs, and at the lower tiers you're able to select the intervals instead of it just being, well, golly, son, you bought 9 and you need 10 for the job. So you're going to have to sit here for a little while and keep on playing this little mini game. Hope you got like a mobile game on the side that you're playing that's got 30-second rounds or something, because you're going to be going back to that here and there. That's not satisfying. It is unsatisfying. It turns a chore into an even bigger chore, and I don't like it. Not one bit.
The other thing I noticed this sporting.
But this is still just, I give this disclaimer. All the complaints and everything I have about the crafting and processing and everything's still in a very unfinished state. Whatever they've got right now, that doesn't mean it's what it's going to be. In fact, what we have right now is probably just about all going to be replaced in phase 2 when all the systems come online. Then when everything's online at the end of phase 2, going into phase 3, that's when I have a proper time to actually complain about what's going on, because then we're actually looking at the real systems and still in a very fluid phase to be able to work with and change it and kind of bend it into shape.
I was going to say something. I don't remember what I was going to say now.
Okay, so that's one of the other things that I keep on going back to when I look at the crafting system and the state of it, and how much of certain materials are needed in certain ways, and how many things you require things from other trades that as you get to higher tiers, you're not just going to be able to do yourself. You're going to need other players for. I'm excited to see the results of what people can do with that. It's going to add more having to work with people. There's going to be more specificity. There's going to be more interest and intrigue and detail to it. But actually seeing the systems come online and seeing just what sort of components will go into a basic weapon, and then as you go higher and higher, the components and variants and stuff of a higher quality weapon and one that's got more complexity to it, what that's going to entail and how much variation players will be able to squeeze out of that. That's stuff I'm excited for. What we have right now, I'm just chopping wood to help other people so they can make better caravans and stuff right now. I'm not even that invested in it.
Yeah, I've not done anything with crafting at this point. I don't think there's a reason to with wipes and everything else. As
Yeah.
Mr. Noobtastic also mentioned, it's all placeholder. So it's
Yeah, it is.
I did go grind the hunting though, because again I wanted the faster steeds. Although the disappointing part there was I did finally, I finally got a couple of uncommon wolves. Well, number one, the first you get a 50-50 chance of the wolf either being a mount or a beast of burden. The first one was a beast of burden, but second one was a mount. And uncommon, level 8. My bear's I think level 5, common. Same speed, no difference.
Yep,
140%. It's
that's right.
well, that kind of sucks. Why is it uncommon?
Because it looks cool. Maybe its other attributes are
Now
higher,
there's
like its
common. I have
health.
common wolves too.
Are the attributes the same?
Well,
Is
yeah,
the only
it's
is
140%
the speed is the only attribute, and if
for the mount.
you pull them out and look at their actual health values, are they the same?
I'm not bothered looking at health.
Because that would be the other thing. Because I have a feeling, like with the Beast of Burden, that the quality would actually be reflected in the attributes, and so maybe it's not speed, but attributes that they don't show that are actually the difference. If I'm not mistaken, it's also the mount the level that the person who tamed it or not tamed it, who did the animal husbandry is at, or are all the mounts at a fixed level?
I think fixed level.
Okay, because I remember I tamed one in one of the previous sessions, and it was, I think it was a palace cat, and it ended up coming out as a level 7. Though maybe I'm mistaken, it might have been a beast of burden, and that's why it came out as a level 7.
The beast of burdens, yeah, I mean they will have different stats,
Okay,
but
that's probably what it was then.
and
Yeah.
chat's saying yeah that the health's going to be different, but
Okay.
I don't know. It was like, all right, well, that was kind of disappointing, but looks
Oh
cool.
yeah, of course. Okay, and uh, uh, Mr. Dope Crew there, the bear mount is sick, but I absolutely object to how loud they are. They're not going across wood like creaky wood all the time. They can be a bit quieter. Bears in the wild, they're quiet. They rely on being quiet with those big, wide, fluffy pads of theirs. They aren't all stomping around making a big, loud mess sounding like the bear cavalry. That's like my one complaint with the bear. They're a little too badass. Tone that down. I'd rather my bear be a little on the like, giant silent, like a silent but deadly sort of thing.
Bear does look fun, especially if you hold down the space bar and it kind of sits down. It's
Oh
pretty
yeah.
fun. Well, 908. What else do we got? We'll do
I
a giveaway here in a minute.
yeah.
I mean, people are going to try and play, and we're supposed to be ending at 7 or 10 or whatever. So, you know, we don't have to go to the half hour. Then maybe there'd be a little bit more time to play.
Yeah, I've been up
Mr.
since
Do that
some
giveaway
last to be
now.
going to bed.
Hold on. Mr. Noobtastic, Mr. Noobtastic, if a cat comes in with some rodent that weighs more than it does, it can still come in so quietly you don't realize. And so that first scream you hear in the morning is someone else discovering what the cat brought in. Unless you find it first, then you get to make the or whatever scream sound you make.
What the cat drinking?
I don't know, if it just dragged in a bloody possum that's like larger than it, and it's just been like flinging it around in the hallway trying to get everyone's attention. That actually happened one for a cat.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was a very friendly cat. I don't think it
Mm-hmm.
was awesome, but whatever it was like, oh well, you're not gonna get up and feed me. Fine, let me show you. I can feed myself.
Uh-huh.
Oh, animal behaviors is something that I'm a little bit more interested in seeing because I've noticed that there's like an odd differential that if you have the option to fight humanoids drop gear that you can use and give better experience. And that's funny to me because animals don't drop gear you can equip. They only drop things that you can use in somewhere upstream, downstream in the crafting process. And they give you less experience for some reason, even though they're just as dangerous, if not sometimes more dangerous than something of that same level and level of stars in a humanoid form. And so that's something that I think is a little bit weird, that I think maybe needs to be adjusted, that animals need to be put on the same sort of experience level as humanoids, maybe even more. If it's something that's gonna, have penetration that ignores your armor and follows you really far and, bites and borks really far so you can't get away from it, and, it's gonna do a lot of damage. Yeah, that's a very viable threat, perhaps more viable of a threat than some stupid raider you can just outrun by sprinting every now and then. But if you kill those raiders enough, they'll drop a full set of gear. If you kill enough of those wolves, you got a big old pile of poo. Pile of poo. Pile of poo.
Fun.
And you've also got a bunch of glint you can sell, and you can get your mandatory 3 pieces off the vendor, and you can get, arranged in a main hand, maybe an offhand or something. Sure, but you're not getting a full set of gear off of those wolves the same way you will off of those raiders who you're also leveling off of faster.
Ursine Caves. Ursine Caves is a really great place for experience, actually. But yeah, you only really get glint. You don't get much else.
And
That's
poop.
part of
You
my
got lots
problem.
of poop.
Yeah, that's part of the problem. I spent a lot of time leveling in Ursine Caves, and so I
Oh,
don't have very much gear right now.
I want to be clear there, Mr. Dope Crew. I'm not saying animals should drop gear. I'm saying they should give better experience because they're just as dangerous and they don't drop gear. I would like to be able to get parts of hides and carcasses and things like that where I can make one leather skin or whatever off of it instead of 5 for something that I've slain. There might be some part of it that isn't destroyed, but I'm definitely not saying to get armor off of things unless that armor is in the form of barding, and even then I wouldn't be the one wearing it. I'd be putting that on my mount or a beast of burden. So yeah, no, I'm 100% with you that animals wouldn't be dropping player equipped gear like that for sure. But more experience, considering they're just as dangerous. You don't get gear from them. And you get poop from them. You get poop and glint.
I mean,
It's
really,
not like the glint, you're not even getting more glint than the humanoids either.
I mean, Ursine really is a good place to grind. I will say that it's
Yeah, I bet.
it
I
it,
haven't been
it,
there
it
yet.
is, but yeah, definitely your gear spots are going to be what Highwayman Hills, um, Carfin when you're ready. Those are the big sort of spots. What's the other one? There's another one that I'm forgetting that's over by Miraleth.
Civilian.
I've not done much in there.
Oh, there's a lot of undead in Civilian. Apparently,
Actually, you know what? I went through
if
there
I'm not
today.
mistaken, there's a lot of caster loot in there.
Yeah, but that's lower level, right? What level are they in there?
No, they're like level mid-teens, I think.
Well, it's still lower for me. But
Well, they're still gonna be dropping 10 to 20 range gear.
here's another thing that I hear a lot that I'm curious what everyone thinks, not just here but in chat. It drives me nuts because this is and I think it's people just trying to mess with me, right? But it's a pretty common occurrence when you're streaming over 5 or 6 hours to have somebody come in, have some dumbass come in and say, "This game looks like it's PlayStation 2. It looks like it's from 2008." We actually stopped. I stopped. I don't know if it was yesterday, and went and Googled like top games of 2008, and it's like, really, you really think this looks like it's like from 2008? Um, I don't. I just don't get why people, of all the things you could pick on, right? Like if you were just wanting to rag on the game, you could talk about its lack of content. You could talk about its uh, lack of systems. You could talk about the fact that they only have 3 races. They don't have all their classes. They have some server issues. They have client issues. But to come in and be like, "Oh, this game looks like it's from PlayStation 2." It's like if you're just wanting to dog on somebody, pick something that makes sense. It's like, what the hell are you even talking about?
If they wanted to be very specific and say, man, these lighting and shaders and things in the game look like they're from 2008, sure, okay, like the textures are still looking sharp. If you're going to say the shadows look like they're still half baked, okay, every now and then, depending on the settings, you might see a tree with like a blocky shadow or something. I'm sure that'll happen every now and then. But yeah, just to say the game in full looks like it's from PS2 era. No. People will just come in and say stupid stuff. That mini map right there is too high quality for something PS2, maybe even PS3. You're just not going to get that kind of detail on the screen for that era. It just ain't gonna get it. Ain't gonna get it.
Yeah, I mean, come run around EverQuest Online Adventures with me as a PS2 game, and we'll see what looks better, that or this. So, and actually, EQA looks pretty good for a PS2 game, I think.
Hmm.
Nothing compared to this. So,
Yeah. And yes, you're right there, Mix 13. People do just come in and say hate bandwagon stuff and just, parrot angry statements and try to get a rise and be like, oh, I'm part of this community that hates this game. So whenever I come in and I do something to hate on this game, I'm winning points for my community. This game sucks. It looks like a PS2 game. Yes! Points! Like that. That's kind of what it seems like when people come in and say stuff like that. Like they're part of the no ashes of creation allowed He-Man boys only club or whatever.
yeah, it's just one of the stupidest things. Yeah, if you
All
put your
cinematic
graphics
looks
setting,
amazing.
yeah. Right now, part of it, like if you're watching me, I run on medium for one because there are still some VRAM issues. Um, if I'm running Ashes, I'm streaming, have my cam going. Um, that does not all play nice all the time, so I run it at medium. I've also had to, because of all that, turn OBS from using the NVIDIA encoding to CPU based, which I think has also affected things. So yeah, it might not look great, but
I mean, the other thing is it's going to release in 2030 anyway, so the graphics are
This will
probably going to be
release.
better by then.
This is going to release with dynamic server gridding before Star Citizen releases with dynamic server gridding. I will put money on that. Let's put money on that. Put it in an investment account so when I win that money, it's already worth more.
Well, I mean, Ashes is going to be 2030. Star Citizen is never going to release.
I still go back. I need to clip that and put it on the stream when you say when we 2 times ago when we interviewed Steven and you're like 2030, right? As a joke, but Steven doesn't answer
He
the
just
question.
laughs,
He just
yeah.
laughs. He didn't say no. He didn't say no. Shit. That's why I still think they should consider the idea. Although they're bringing in they're outsourcing stuff, right? So maybe that speeds it up. But um, I still think you consider just having one continent, let the other come along later. But some people agree, some people disagree. Cleric though still feels like a lot of fun. I'll say healing in this game. As far as having fun, combat still is just great. Combat is in a really, really good place. I think if combat wasn't as good as this, people would have left this a while back.
Yeah. I feel like that was something that they'd even mention the Pirate Software interview, that combat is one of the most complete features right now.
Mhm. Yep. All
Not
you gotta
that
do.
it's not that everything going into it is complete, but its functionality and usability and ability to deliver on what it intends to do at the current state. Yeah, the combat is definitely like up and running in a good way. Like you folks obviously have heard me say the phrase hotbar dancer. And that's one of the things for me that's been a little bit weird. I actually don't like how many abilities there are. I was kind of liking the idea of there being one primary hotbar and one that's for like your items and accessory things. And it blew up quick. Like
Yeah, there's a lot of
quick
skills.
is a relative term, but like A1 to A2, it's just like, oh, you like skills? Blah! Here's a bunch of skills, everybody. Figure it out. Especially in PTR, that's the worst because a class that an archetype you've never played up to 21 to 25, and then it's time to do testing, it's like, blah, experience. I don't know how to build this. I think maybe this one and some of these, they're like a cookie cutter list somewhere someone could give me. Because I don't really know what the hell's going on with all these points. I'm good till like maybe about level 10 or so, and then it's like, yeah, I see a bunch of cool stuff, but I don't know like how to set it up to push the buttons in the way I want to do my combos and stuff. Like
I
with the
got my
Bard right
hand down.
now, most of my stuff resolves to like 2-button combos. So anything that I'm gonna do, I've got another like paired follow up that stacks with it. Sure, okay, that's different. Like I'm now looking at like, okay, I can do this and this and this and this. Now I'm trying to piece together like a 4-hit combo off of like 12 buttons. And that starts to be like a little too many to have to reach for at once. So I mean, that is one thing that I'm actually hoping the augment system will help with, is to reduce the amount of skills we actually need to have up, and to juice the ones that we plan to use so heavily that the other ones don't matter, because that's not what you're doing. That you can be a jack of all trades and a master of none and have 3 diluted hot bars, or you can have one hot bar that's just straight up fire. That's kind of what I'm actually hoping to see. Right now it's too much. I don't want to go back to WoW where I'm like using Control Alt Shift and a combination of my numpad to access a third of my abilities. That's literally like it got to be at the point where I had 7 hotbars going in WoW.
Oh, if you could find copper. That's interesting. What are you guys using copper for?
I
Copper,
haven't
okay.
seen copper at all.
So here's the thing, is that ore is not distributed like all the other resources. Trees everywhere, herbs everywhere, animal husbandry creatures to get everywhere, enemies that drop items that give you things that you need for certain recipes everywhere. Copper and zinc, so you can do things that require metal, nowhere. Absolutely zero nowhere. Good fucking luck. Good fucking luck. That shit runs out so fast, gets replaced by other nodes. Everybody's gathering that stuff and burning through it so damn fast. It's not distributed. From playing Nightingale, how you go out to like a cliffside and there's just ore nodes everywhere. You can just sit there literally a full day-night cycle gathering until your bags are full. Ain't like that. I would love, that's what this game needs right now, is everywhere that there's mountains and rocky outcroppings, instead of it being little bits here and there, it needs to be just piled with resources to gather. That's the problem right now. All the other resources, super easy to get. Ores, gems, metals, good luck. Good luck. Good luck.
I found a lot of rubies. Somehow.
Cool. Everybody needs rubies. You found a lot. You think they're a lot until a crafter's like, yeah, all right, sweet, buddy. I need like 980 more.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah, I'm thinking
In
back to
in
like
the in the
1600 bows.
scale of in the scale of things, like one player having a lot of a resource is actually just a drop in the bucket. Like maybe for personal crafting stuff, but when it comes to things like the town level and like the orders and stuff to get things going, yeah, like 1,000 rubies is a good start.
Mm. And land management is not in yet.
No, no, I
Yeah,
don't think that's going to be in until I don't know if they named a phase on it, but it seems like a phase
sure.
2, phase 3 thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably, I would imagine maybe like a phase 3 thing because there's no need to have it up and running until the rest of the economic system is up and running, and now you need some way to mitigate the sinks and everything.
Mhm.
Well, it's interesting. There's a good conversation happening in chat about scarcity and markets. But the thing
Yeah.
right now for alpha testing is that we can't get these other stations up and running in the nodes because it's just taking so much stuff to get like I mentioned the cookhouse.
Mm.
Um, it's just taking so many things. So I don't know. I do think that potentially you could balance it a little bit different in the early alpha just to see how it all feels
Mm.
um, before backing it off. But
Mhm.
all
No,
right,
but again, it's a stability test, so
y'all can keep chatting. I'm gonna pull up this.
And just put it in chat there. I actually wonder how
There
many
we go.
apprentice miners we have that are going through and clearing the tier 2 stuff out of the world so people can get tier 1 stuff again. That was
Mm.
a kind of a concern I had early on, was that you you started seeing, and this was even like the pre-alpha spot testing, you would see the nodes where you normally see your metals getting replaced by tier 2 materials, and then they would be effectively removed from the gameplay experience because nobody, until maybe this phase or so, has, and even a little ways into, has actually been able to get up to apprentice mining to go through and make their grand tour across the world, mining out all the iron and all the emerald and weird stone and slate and all the other stuff that's built up, and replace the tier 1 nodes to the point where you just can't get the damn stuff.
Want to
um
just get replaced with tier 3?
No, if
I'm
it's a
kidding.
tier,
I'm kidding. I
it's
was kidding.
it's just a resource socket that seems to spawn on like a table or with some predicates that will say, "Hey, this time you're gonna spawn as something people can't mine. You're gonna be iron now.
Yeah,
You
which
there,
could be
you're
tier
tin
3.
now."
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm
I
gonna do
do.
this.
Go
Go
for it.
ahead. You keep talking.
I was gonna say the one other thing that I've at least enjoyed seeing up to this point is that tier 2 carpentry, apprentice carpentry, to make some of the parts for carriages, you can use copper. And so I like that I'm seeing a tier 1 resource being used in tier 2. Now, the other thing that I'm not really sure on, it seems like tier 1 is copper and zinc. Tier 2 seems like it's almost exclusively brass, just brass. And then tier 3 is iron. So it's like you use the tier 1s, and then you use the tier 1 alloy, and then finally you can start using iron. Okay, for a fantasy game progression, I guess that kind of makes sense or something. Not really, but um tell you what, you don't need a brass pick or a bronze pick to mine iron. But whatever. So
All right.
there is some amount of things at different tiers feeding into higher tiers, which I like to see, that it isn't just everything being tier locked in a dumb way.
Mm.
All right. So is it rolling time?
Put all mats and NPC loot tables, and the problem be much improved. Yeah, that's true. All right. Yep. Closing the giveaway. This will end this week. as a reminder, you need to be present and need to be following, and you need to have PayPal. We've ran into some issues with being in countries that we could not send things through PayPal. So please make sure that I can actually send you something. So I'm starting to drain down here in energy. I'm going to go ahead and pull it. There we go. Are you here? Oh, look,
Mm. Oh,
Hyrule. You have been checking your points and checking your points forever. Are you better still be in here? Are you, I mean, it's saying you're here. Are you Hyrule? Come on now, say something in chat
yeah.
for me.
I just saw him a little bit ago.
Yeah, he's I mean, for like the couple of weekends now,
Yeah,
has just been checking points and
I
checking
just saw him
points.
check points just a little bit.
Um, he's in here. I know he is. So, all right, I'm gonna send you a whisper. Um, and yeah, we can start wrapping up. I don't know if y'all have anything closing thoughts. We've now had a month, 4 weeks, right, of testing. I think it's gone pretty
Well,
well.
yeah, it's gone pretty well. We're kind of closing in on like the halfway mark here, and I am just kind of interested to see how many of the rest of the outstanding features we have, of which there's quite a few. Let's see. I even made a spreadsheet, just kind of looking at what all we what all we have and what all we don't have still.
Mm.
And there's some
Well,
things that I'm still not sure
we have some races that I want. We have
about.
some we aren't going to get for a while. So a lot of stuff isn't
Mhm.
coming till later. But you know,
Yeah.
there's stuff
So,
in phase one that you want that we don't have, or there's stuff on the spreadsheet that's coming in later phases.
well, there's stuff that's supposed to be in, like the I don't know, the mail system is in, for example, and that's a phase oneer.
Hmm.
Um, level 25 artisan stuff, I believe they've got in. Um, 33 unique gatherables. Yeah, I think they've got that now. They've got the surveying, they've got 15 unique gathering tools. By the way, everybody, funny story. You only have one type of bind on equip item in the game right now, and that's your crafting tool. As soon as you equip your crafting tool, it's kind of bound to you, and it's done in such a way that you can't have two copies of that tool, go out in the world, expend one of them, and then swap it for the other one. For the way that it kind of seems now, either it won't replace the other one because the other one's better, or it eats the other one in the process. It doesn't just swap it. So, as of right now, and that might be the goal going forward, don't plan on carrying multiple copies of your item out there to go crafting or gathering with. And now that they put durability in, it matters. You're gonna have to make a bunch of runs going back with a crap tool before you'll be able to get up to 10 and be able to get a tool that's got a little bit more lasting power and can fill all your bags before you come back.
Yeah, durability does matter. I've had to burn all my glint because of having zero durability. So that is starting to get to be
So
a pain in the
just
ass.
kind of
But
going down the list here. Mail system, another one. Item deconstruction. They've got repair in, but not deconstruction. Um, there's some that is hard to confirm. 111 treasure maps. They can say that, and I don't have a way to confirm that. You know, there's a lot of stuff that's on the list that I actually have no way to confirm, and we're just gonna have to take their faith on. The 56 tax categories, the notorious tax categories. No idea if they're all in and all up and running and all of that sort of stuff. So still some stuff to go over the next few weeks. I'll be filling in the list as I see things getting completed.
Hmm.
all
Yeah,
right.
good stuff.
Yeah, the only thing I'll have to say, the weekends, I think for the most part, this has gone really well for Intrepid. I feel like things could have gone a lot worse. They
Oh,
haven't.
they've knocked out that DDoS, by the way. Anybody who is wondering, they have taken down that DDoS pretty well. Wasn't a problem at all
Yes.
this weekend.
Yeah.
Not
So
one bit.
all things considered, I think they've done really well, and I think the people that have been looking forward to the game love the game so far. You're always going to have people that bitch about stuff, but no, I think it's come out really well. I just hope, and I've told Planendorf this, that you all, I hope all the folks at Intrepid sometime soon get a chance to slow the fuck down. You all have been burning and churning for months now. And I mean, it's showing. It's showing at all the patches, all the updates that get pushed out. But um, as much as we all appreciate it, I think everyone would agree that it's. We hope you get a break soon. So, but yeah, I think it's gone real well. I do think I am predicting we will get 5 days a week sooner rather than later. So, I like this show, but I can't wait for a new MMO. Yep, it'll be here soon. All right, guys. We need to raid somebody. I put in chat,
Yeah.
does anybody have a suggestion? But nobody answered me. So,
I see Warriors up and running. Pockets is up and running. Where are some other names that I recognize?
there's quite a few people on the
Yeah.
Ashes group. So, we hit up Pockets this weekend already. Royer's the man. We could do Royer. I also don't mind doing smaller people. So, Ruined Combat, is that a okay? How many people? Let me see. Are they live? Why didn't I see their name? Let me look. Yeah, they're there. Okay. Yeah, they're on Vira. Okay. What's the character name? Oh, sorry, I'm curious. I'm like, oh, there's Master Chief hanging out. Divine Order. Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. Just checking. Just checking that it's not like a, Zenkai or an Amnesty. I actually grouped with Amnesty Black players today, and I it was hard to not try to just kill them. But as the cleric, oops, I didn't heal you. Sorry, timing was off on that one. There's your 2% EXP debt. No, actually, I hear Amnesty's kind of chilled out. I think from what I was told with some of the folks. So, all right. Anyways, that was a joke. I really don't want to log on and have Amnesty coming after me. All right, y'all. We will raid Ruin Combat, and thanks for hanging out with us tonight. I will probably be on Tuesday. I'm still adjusting weekdays to see what works. Tuesday, Thursday is currently the plan, but I have no clue. So definitely be back Friday, and we'll keep doing giveaways again. Everything that kind of gets pushed into bits and subs and ad revenue gets pushed back out into the form of keys. So actually, I want to real quick mention a shout out Mazdam. We got 100 subs from one person gifting subs, which was great. So yeah, we'll keep it up. So we're gonna go ahead and raid.
Thanks.
Y'all have a wonderful week, and we will see what happens. I will probably not be on tomorrow because they are going to close while I'm still at work. Unfortunately, I don't think I can leave early. All right, y'all. See you.